As long as there's been an army in any country, but specifically in America since the American Revolution, the need to communicate to troops across a wide area has always been important, and the Army calls that signaling. Now, when we think of signaling currently, we might think of the walkie-talkie or the telephone, and then the cell phone, and then text messaging, and now we can chat back and forth simultaneously with talk on my iPhone. It's quite amazing. A couple hundred years ago, though, they started using trumpets to do this work. The first trumpet that we're going to take a look at is just called a natural trumpet. There are no valves, there are no keys. The musician just relies upon strength of their face to make the pitch change, and Master Sergeant Bernard will demonstrate the natural trumpet. Well, as our troops started to learn to ride on horses, something more compact than the natural trumpet became necessary. So they started using a bugle. That bugle was able to be played while riding horseback to sound across regiments. It just could be heard from very far away given the terrain. But one of the limitations of that bugle was it could only play what the musician's mouth was able. So then around 1819 or a little later, they started putting on a valve onto the bugle. And what that meant was the musician could change pitch just by moving a finger or a thumb. Well, of course, that led to the more skilled musicians saying, I wonder what else I could do. And then they used the cornet or the trumpet, here with 3 valves, able to play chromatic scales and all sorts of music.
Hello, I'm Staff Sergeant Bill Cuthbert, and I'm here with a traditional rope drum that we use in the field music group here at West Point. These are traditional rope tension drums, the same types of drums that were used during the Revolutionary period all the way back in the 16 and 1700s. The shell is one solid piece of maple that is steam bent around and glued together. You can see a seam at the end. And it is held together, the two ends, the 2 drum heads are held together by one single piece of rope that goes all the way around the drum. It's one 47-foot piece of rope. And there's these leather ears, we call them, that we can push down and tighten the rope even more after we've pulled the rope through the drum. What makes this drum a snare drum are the snares, that we call them, on the bottom of the drum. And what they are is actually rolled cat intestine. I know that sounds gross, but that's what they had back in the Revolutionary days. And they're stretched across the drum head, the bottom drum head, to create the rat-tat-tat sound that you'll hear out of the drum. So, and then we also have a membrane on the bottom, a drum head, and a membrane on the top, another drum head. And when we play, the air pushes through the drum and makes these catgut snares buzz, like so.